Hey guys, welcome. This is Tina. Glad you're joining me on Dirt Road Believer for another time in the Word, a time of devotion. Hope you had a wonderful Easter with those that you love. And I'm so glad to be back outside. Oh my goodness, the past 2 weeks I've been stuck inside. So it's beautiful. We've been out doing some work in the yard today. And I've been hearing some really loud frogs, so you may hear them in the video. But today we are talking about fervor, okay? This word is fervor, the intensity with which you go about something. And, gyms are a funny place to sort of observe and measure a person's fervor. Because I've been going to the gym for about a year now. And what I've noticed about people at the gym, you've got people that go in, man, they work out, they get it done, they're in, they're out. And then you've got people that stay in there for long periods of time, and they might be on their phone near a bar that they could be lifting, but they're on their phone. They're taking selfies. There's one individual I observe almost daily who is on the bike. I mean, this person shows up every day to the gym, gets on the bike, looks at their phone, and like barely pedals. Okay, so today I want to look at this. Okay, you can be faithful to something and it still not have much impact on you or others because of the level of intensity at which you do it with, the fervor. Okay, so today we're going to look at two guys in scripture, and one goes about what he does with just such fervor. He is faithful. He has fervor. The other is faithful but lacks fervor. Okay, and we're going to see the difference. These are both men in the New Testament, and Jesus encounters both of them. And we're going to see what Jesus has to say about fervor. Okay, so let's start in John. This is John chapter 5. Okay. So after this, a Jewish festival took place, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem by the Sheep's Gate. In Jerusalem, there was a pool called Bethesda in Aramaic, which had 5 colonnades. Within these colonnades lay a large number of disabled, blind, lame, and paralyzed men. One of the men had been disabled for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and realized he'd already been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to get well?" "Sir," the disabled man answered, "I have no one to put me in the pool when the water is stirred up, but while I'm coming, someone else goes down ahead of me." "Get up," Jesus told him. "Pick up your mat and walk." Instantly, the man got well, picked up his mat, and started to walk. Okay, we're going to stop right there. Now, let's go to, we're going to read them first and then talk about them in a little bit. Now let's go and find another disabled man. This is in Mark. We're in chapter 10. We're going to read verses 46 through 52. A blind man healed. They came to Jericho, and as he was leaving Jericho with his disciples, a large crowd, Bartimaeus, a blind beggar, was sitting by the road. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Many warned him to keep quiet, but he was crying out all the more, "Have mercy on me, Son of David." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called the blind man and said to him, "Have courage. Get up. He's calling for you." He threw off his coat, jumped up, and came to Jesus. Then Jesus answered him, "What do you want me to do for you?" "Rabboni," said the blind man to him, "I want to see." Jesus said to him, "Go, your faith has saved you." Immediately he could see, and he began to follow Jesus on the road. Okay, we've got two disabled men here. One, so they're limited in what they can do because of their disabilities, but one has such fervor. I mean, the one that we just read about, the blind man, he comes, he lays his coat out on the side of the road, he sets up every day so that people who are coming on this passageway, a pretty popular passageway, can give to him, and he can buy food. So there is fervor in what he does, and he's constantly on the lookout. And when he hears that Jesus is coming down this road that he sets up on every day, he has not taken no for an answer. That fervor just kicks into high gear. Jesus, Jesus. He starts yelling so much that the other people are like, dude, like, cut it out. And he keeps yelling. And what does he throw down? He throws down his coat, which seems kind of insignificant. But this coat would have been a government-issued cloak for disabled people, so that they could be identified as disabled and not a hoax or a scam, and people could give to them. This was like their way of being taken care of by the people. And so the fact that he throws that coat down and runs to Jesus, he's saying, I'm not going to need this anymore. Jesus is about to do a work in me. And what does Jesus say at the end of that passage? He says, your faith has saved you. Well, that was the biggest miracle of all, his salvation. That was before he could even see. And then your faith has saved you. And then his eyes were open. He was able to see again. I love this man's fervor. Not only is he faithful to the cause that he thinks is so important, which is setting up every day, meeting people, hopefully getting some money, asking for money so that he can live on, but his intensity. I mean, he doesn't just sit there and feel sorry for himself. He meets people, he knows people, he's aware of what's going on. And even though he's limited in what he can do, he is faithful and he has fervor. And then let's think about the other guy. Okay, the guy by the pool of Bethesda, that's a pretty popular miracle in scripture. But he is laying there day after day after day. And Jesus is like, dude, do you even want to get well? Do you want to walk again? I mean, because from what I'm seeing, yeah, you're here every day. You're faithful to being near this pool, but your fervor, like, you haven't even gotten in the pool yet. And I don't know about y'all, but I am big on, I like to beat the system. When I know there are a lot of people and they're all wanting to get to the same place, honey, I come up with a plan. Usually the plan involves being the first one there, right? Because nobody wants to get up early in the morning. So I'll get up 3 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever I have to, so that I don't have people getting in front of me, right? I want to be in front. So you'd think after this long of this guy laying on this mat, he would have come up with I'm going to beat the system. How about I go to the edge of the pool? Why don't I drag myself over there? And then when the waters are stirred, but no, he complains. Every time the waters are stirred, people just walk over me and they get there first. This dude feels sorry for himself. He makes excuses for himself. And when Jesus heals him, what does he say? Pick up your mat. In other words, do not go back to that place where you are just having a pity party. You're feeling sorry for yourself. There was no fervor whatsoever. Jesus had mercy on both of these people. So if you encounter Jesus and he has mercy, he's going to have mercy on who he wants to have mercy on. But I have to go back to the statement that he made to the blind beggar. Your faith has saved you. Guys, here's what I want us to think about, and here's what I want you doing with this devotion. Like, what is the point, Tina? The point is, I want you to measure your fervor. Does your faithfulness to something Or does the fervor you have for something, does it meet your faithfulness? And the other way around, does your faithfulness have fervor in it? Because you can be faithful to something and no good comes of it. The person on the exercise bike, on their phone, like pedaling this fast, sorry, you might do that every day of your life. It is not doing you any good. So when we think about our relationship with Christ, our time that we spend with Him, what we put into our faith and our relationship with Jesus, number one, are you faithful? Okay? And number two, what kind of fervor is there? Is it filled with intensity of some sort, or does it lack intensity? Is it just kind of a passive thing that you do? Your environment will not change you. You can show up every day to the same environment and not be changed. So we talk a lot about faithfulness, and faithfulness is important, but not if you're just in the habit of just being there. In other words, the gym is not going to change the individual who just barely pedals the bike. You can show up to work every day and just get by, but have you made much of a difference at work? You can show up to church twice a week, but if you are there and you are not getting anything out of it, and you're just showing up, it's because you lack fervor. And where do we get fervor from? Well, it starts on the inside. It's a heart attitude first, and then it comes across as this intensity that we want to draw nearer to God. We want to develop ourselves and our skills at work. We want to just extract the nutrients out of church and out of relationships and out of family time. That is up to us. That is not up to anyone else. You can put yourself in any environment you want, but unless you're willing to put something into it, you're not going to get anything out of it. When your heart and your mind and your body is fully engaged, then you can begin to see change. So pair fervor with faithfulness. Think about this. If there's some aspect of your life and you're like, I'm just not feeling it. Like, I don't want to show up to work, or, church used to really do this for me. Well, think about what you're putting into it. Where is your fervor? Measure that today. Where are you in your fervor? The verse that comes to mind is, whatever you do, do it as if you're doing it for the Lord. The two men that we looked at today, even in their limitations, we see a different level of fervor. One setting up each day, being in the forefront, being engaged with people, and the other just sitting idly by, just waiting for something to happen, but not taking any initiative. And so, guys, go back to what Jesus said. Your faith has saved you. And that faith was shown by his fervor. He was not willing to just sit idly by, but he was engaging. He was vocal. He was very vocal when he heard that Jesus was nearby, because he wouldn't stop screaming. And so, guys, I'm challenging you this week. Measure your fervor. What are some things that you're faithful to, but maybe you're passive about it, okay? There's so much good that comes to us and to others when we meet those daily activities, however mundane they are, however routine they've become to you. We meet them with a level of fervor. Pray about that and ask God, hey, that intensity I used to have for this activity or this time with someone, or even in my quiet time, it's not the same. And so ask God to bring it back, and I promise your attention will be all over that. And I'll leave you with this. One of the things that I have noticed in my own walk with the Lord is sometimes in my quiet time with God in the morning, I will like slip into this. My Bible is open, I spend a little time in prayer, and then my mind just wanders and it goes somewhere else. And next thing you know, I'm on Amazon, like on my phone. So, and I have to just stop right then and say, no, God, this is not about shopping online. This is not about Facebook or me just being off in my own thoughts. This is our time together. So I need you to redirect me and get that intensity back and that fervor, and just speak to me through your word. And guys, I promise he hears those prayers because he wants your fervor, and he certainly does not want you going back to your mat and just being passive and feeling sorry or making excuses. He wants you to be more like that blind beggar, like, hey, Jesus, over here. And I promise you, he will respond to you. So guys, I hope you have a great week. If someone came to mind while you were listening to this devotion, make sure you share it with them. This channel grows as you like, as you subscribe, as you, fill up the comments section. I always love hearing your comments, and I'm always amazed at where everybody's listening from. So guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to see you again next week. Until then, slow down. Take the dirt road, believer.